One.
So hello. So this is our Wednesday, our Wellness Wednesday segment. My name is Pastor Monique Fruitier, and I have Tara Steph with me. She is here to talk to us about hemp and the hemp product that she uses. So I met Tara, and I was going to say Tara, but it's Tara. I met Tara at the Achieve Academy conference. I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago, might be going on 3 weeks now. And we had a wonderful connection, and she happened to have some of her hemp oil with her, and she asked me to try it. Now, so I never tried it before. I had never tried it. But I tried her products, and it seemed to really make me feel good. Like, I felt calm. I felt like mellowed out. I felt even. And I wasn't really sure if it was just my mind tricking me, because I had just had the one drop, but I definitely felt something. I felt something in a good way in terms of just being balanced. So I decided to host Tara on this segment, so she could talk about her just her experiences and give us more information about hemp overall, and help us to also understand the differences between hemp and cannabis. As we know, as marijuana, because a lot of people are afraid to try CBD because of the fact that it's, associated with marijuana. So as Christian people, most Christians don't necessarily want to be caught doing doing marijuana or cannabis. So I felt like this would be a good opportunity for her to get on here and just talk to us about what hemp really is and what it does and how it helps us in terms of our healthcare, and just, how it really, what the properties of it is, and what it does to actually help us to be healthier, to feel better, and to have a just overall better quality of life. So without further ado, I will let Tara take, I'll let her start talking to talk to us about hemp. So here we go.
Thank you so much, Monique, for having me on and for wanting to share this beautiful, wonderful light with the world. I really believe that what we're doing is paving the way for wellness, and it really gets you healthy. It doesn't get you high. So I'm very happy to be a hemp ambassador. And what I do is I HEMP. I help educate misinformed people. People don't really know what they don't know. And there's been, unfortunately, a lot of misinformation within the last 80 years here, especially in the United States, and that's had a ripple effect out to the rest of the world, where people really have been miseducated about this plant. Now, hemp cannabis has been around for thousands of years. It can be dated back as far as 3,000 years BC in China that it's been used medicinally, and it's only been since 1937 that it's been outlawed here in the United States. And really, it's an unfortunate thing because people are struggling with their physical health at astounding rates right now. And this is a new thing to be discovered, but it's not new to our biological systems. We've had this since humans have first walked the earth. We've had this, the ability to use cannabis. So I'd love to kind of dispel some of the rumors and myths that maybe you might have heard. And we'll be talking about, what is hemp? How is it different from, marijuana? So I like to think of hemp and marijuana. They're both cannabis of the cannabis field of the cannabis plant, right? But they're like distant cousin species, think like apples and oranges. They're both fruit trees, but they have different properties, right? Mm-hmm. And the wonderful thing about the cannabis plant is there's these things called cannabinoids that light up this endogenous cannabinoid system that we have. It's called the endocannabinoid system. And this is a new discovered thing, actually, only since 1992. Dr. Raphael Mechoulam is an Israeli scientist, and he was studying the health benefits of cannabis, and due to the advancements in technology, he was able to really find that we have these receptors on every single cell in our body that is blessed to receive cannabinoids. And why do we have that? Well, the reason is we actually produce cannabinoids ourselves when we're in deep prayer, meditation, yoga, deep spiritual connection, and even the runner's high. That's your body producing its own CBD, if you will, its own cannabis.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Wow.
That we have this system, and those receptors, I like to think of it like lights on a Christmas tree. This endogenous cannabinoid system, the endocannabinoid system, it's our 13th body system, and it actually maintains balance, homeostasis within all the other systems. So it controls our circulation, it controls our respiratory system, it controls our central nervous system, our immune system, the endocrine, the hormone system. It regulates everything. And when it goes out of whack because people are deficient, because we're not able to really get to that deep level of connection with ourself, with God, with our true higher selves, and we're really detached spiritually, from that, we start suffering. And the reason is because those lights on our Christmas tree are not illuminated. People are walking around like, I'm a Christmas tree, but they look like a pine tree. They don't have the lights, and the receptors are not being lit up. So there's a lot of dysregulation, a lot of disharmony in their body, and their systems are going berserk. So how do we establish balance? The way that we do that is by taking a supplement, and there's lots of plants that have other cannabinoids. It just so happens to be that the cannabis plant and the hemp plant actually has the largest concentration of cannabinoids out of any plant. So it really is a miraculous plant, and it helps us to establish balance. And it does so in a way that I think of it like dispatch, right? From the, terms of inflammation people are really experiencing. We know inflammation is at the root cause of a lot of chronic illness and disease.
Yeah.
You can see that on thermography scans and heat scans in the body. If somebody has, a hurt back, they're going to actually see that scan that come up on a heat scan. And in order for the body to fight that inflammation, the body first has to be able to intercommunicate. The cells have to say, hey, we got a fire down here, and bring in the immune cells, which are kind of like the body's firefighters, if you will. But if there's no dispatch and the cells can't communicate with each other, then the blaze just kind of gets out of control. It starts becoming systemic, taking over other systems, and that's where we start seeing the progression. And Western medicine likes to try and clamp down on the symptoms, but it's not really repairing that system. It's not fueling the body's ability to heal itself. So I want to be really clear. When you take a supplement that's a cannabis-derived, hemp-derived CBD supplement, it's not going to get you high. So think of cannabis, the plant, as having two forms, if you will, a male form and a female form, okay? So the hemp plant is like the male form of the plant. There's no THC or tetrahydrocannabinol. That's the active component in marijuana, which is like the female plant, okay? So the female plant creates the buds and the flowers, and that is what, when you heat it up, whether it's a vaporizer or a smoking apparatus or baked into a good, when it's heated up, that has the psychoactive effect. But if you were to juice raw marijuana, female plant, you wouldn't get high because it's not been activated. It has to be activated through heat. But look at hemp plant, there's less than 0.3% THC. It doesn't get you high. No matter what, you could heat it up. You could drink a whole bottle of hemp oil or CBD oil. You're not going to get high from it. But what it does is it illuminates those receptors in the endocannabinoid system. It allows for the cells to then communicate with each other. It allows for the immune cells to go to work and fight that blaze and that inflammation, and it's very healthy for us. And we actually are very excited to have scientific studies that are coming out right now. And you can look on projectcbd.org if you're interested to find the clinical studies that have been conducted. Also, just Google's your friend. Google CBD health benefits, Google hemp health benefits, and you'll find some really incredible, promising. Again, we need more time, more research, and as the regulation of this industry with the 2018 Farm Bill Act that was just signed in November of 2018 by President Trump, we actually have the ability to bring hemp back to America, to allow people within this great country to start cultivating it and growing it. And it's opening a lot of different avenues because hemp itself has over 50,000 uses. And it's an incredible source for clothing and for building materials. And the U.S. Navy is still using hemp for hemp for rope because it's more durable than cotton. So there's a lot of really incredible uses. And today, we're talking mostly about the therapeutical approach when you actually are able to ingest the oil, or sometimes it's called CBD oil. The product that we have actually is more than just CBD. A lot of products out there on the market. I just want you to be aware because there's no regulation in this industry. So what you could get on Amazon or at a grocery store or, a dispensary or someplace like that, is it really what's in the bottle? Because there's no requirement for batch testing. Is it safe? Are there possibly heavy metals or mold toxins or things in that product? Hemp is a remedial plant, meaning that it actually sucks toxins from the ground, which is great if we're trying to, clean up the GMO Roundup sprayed,
Okay,
pills
yeah.
and things. But if we're trying to then put that into a supplement that we're going to give to somebody whose immune system is compromised or
Yeah, not good.
not good, right? So yeah.
Okay, so wonderful. So you've given us all of this information about what hemp is, what it's not, helping to clarify the question about, is this, does this product really have THC in it? So that makes sense that you compared it to like apples, oranges, and then also male, female, to give us the understanding of really the fact that the plant is versatile. It sounds like it's a versatile plant. So it has many uses. You said over 50,000 uses. That's wonderful. And I think I heard about that you could make clothes or clothing with hemp. And when I go to the store, I actually, sometimes I get hemp protein.
Oh, good.
And sometimes I get like the hemp seeds or the hemp, I have hemp milk in my refrigerator.
That's great, girl.
Yeah, and I put hemp seeds in, right, in my oatmeal and stuff like that. So I know the hemp it can't be marijuana. It can't be marijuana because, we wouldn't be consuming it like that. So, okay, so the 0.03%, did you say 0.3?
Yeah,
so
anything
0.3% has less than 0.3% THC. Yep.
So and our product that we have absolutely has none, zero. There's no THC in our final.
Oh, wonderful.
So we have FBI narcotics agents who are taking this. My own father's a police officer and he loves the oil. It's people high, so it won't show up on a drug test. There's really nothing to worry about, but it's an incredible supplement. And I just want to be very clear that this, is not intended to cure or prevent any disease or illness. It is a dietary supplement, and just have to be very clear, making no medical claims. But, I really believe that when you give the body back what it's been missing and it can heal itself, miraculous things will happen, and they do. And I've had more people than I can count on both hands in the year and a half that I've been sharing this. Tell me, Tara, this is a miracle in my life. Thank you for sharing. I'm sleeping better than I have in 20 years. I'm finally off of my opioids and my sleeping pills. And, to me, that's really the big part. I'm kind of like the anti-pharmaceutical rep, if you will. I really believe there's no safe medication out there. They all have some sort of toxic side effect. So it's nice to be able to offer people a natural solution and something that they can work with to reestablish and get their gas tank filled again, if you will.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And even when you brought up the point about, being able to do away with the opioids and stuff like that, we have such a huge opioid epidemic in our country. And I can see this as being something that people can use, for pain, for managing pain, and really to get themselves off of opioids, because it is such a, it's huge. And we know that people, I don't know what the number is, but there's so many people, thousands of people who die every day as a result of opioid overdoses.
And I'd love to share with you, because we actually have a medical board of advisors that are a part of our crew, and we're not just, another fly-by-night hemp oil company. Whatever really sets us apart is we are having clinical studies done by Dr. Chen Ron. His last name is R-U-A-N, and he's out of Houston, and he actually owns a integrated medical clinic that is rivaling in size to the Cleveland Clinic. So he is giving this to over 500 of his patients and clinically studying the effects of brain scans he's seeing. He was told, I just got back from Austin, Texas, where I got to hear from him and also our pain management specialist Dr. Ankur Mehta, Mehta is his last name, and he is giving this to his patients pre and post surgery, and finding recovery rates are incredible. And I'll share a story with you that Dr. Ron first said that he is able, within 35 milliseconds of someone taking the new Recept oil, he is seeing marked brain scan will actually show decrease in inflammation in their brain within 35 milliseconds. So
Wow.
we're lickety fast, and he's,
Lickety split.
going to be publishing these. And also Dr. Ankur, Dr. Mehta, he was saying that, and I can share a story again, this is anecdotal, and he is in the middle of clinical studies, though this is, not to claim anything, but there was a woman, I like to share stories because I really believe that it hits hard, for people, because I know we are all affected in some way, shape, or form by this pain crisis and the opioid addiction, that and the suicides that are coming along with that and things like that. And we really have a responsibility to share each other's stories, to help each other know that there's something else that they can try. And he had shared a story about a woman, one of his patients that he's studying, and she has been on opioids. She has been having the ablation, where they go in and they burn off cauterize the ends of your nerves in her back and spine. And her pain levels were consistently, at least a 6 out of 10 every single day of her life. So that's, debilitating pain on a chronic level. And it was starting to affect the fact, she was like, my family's planning a trip to Disneyland and I would love to go, but I'm not going to slow them all down and be there in my, scooter and not be able to with them.
Right.
So he said, and her story was just, well, I guess I'll just continue to take the pills and continue to have you do the ablation on me consistently, and that'll be my treatment. And he said, well, we have something new that you could try. We have this Recept hemp oil by Prime My Body. And he gave her a 5-day supply. So she took 1 milliliter of it at night for 5 days. And at the end of the 5 days, she reported 0 out of 10 on her pain scale. She canceled all of her future, ablations, and she's planning to go on that trip with her family to Disney. So it's
wonderful.
really incredible what this can do for people. Again, I can't claim that it'll cure this or whatever, but again, when you work with this, and some people may experience that level immediately, and some people may take 2 months, depending on their levels of how depleted they are and how fast they can respond to this. But we have something that is very, very special. And when it comes to, CBD products out there, again, because there's no regulation, because there's no standardization, it is like the Wild West out there. You can buy cheap products. You can just buy hemp seed oil at Walmart that doesn't have the cannabinoid profile. Right? You can there you go. You can spot an inferior product. Read the ingredients on the label. If it says hemp seed oil, MCT oil, coconut oil, those are filler oils. Okay, it's a carrier oil. It helps bulk up the volume, but it's not concentrated. So what we have to offer is called sonicated nano liposomal delivery. So it's a liposome, which is basically a little fatty lipid bubble. And you got to imagine these are smaller than your cells. They're literally able to bypass and go straight into circulation. Your cell meets it. It's wrapped with the little liposome fatty bubble around the hemp oil. It meets it and it intracellularly deposits that nutrient directly into the cell. So you're going to feel a rapid absorption of this. It's bioavailability. It's as close to 100% as we can possibly get. Most CBD products on the market, especially when they are in that carrier oil, have maybe 6 to 10% absorption. Some of our bigger top competitors that are making high quality products still are maxing out at 20% absorption. So we are 5 times, at least 5 to 10 times stronger than anything you're going to find out there with intravenous results without the needles. So you're going to feel that balance. What it does is it creates what's called neural endo-immune poise. Neural endo-immune poise.
Immune poise.
Right? So you got to imagine, People are stuck in fight or flight. That's your sympathetic nervous system.
That was me for years, by
we
the
only
way.
have one or the other. If we're in balance, right, and we're stuck in fight or flight, and we're so chronically stressed, and we gotta, we're getting bombarded by text messages, we're getting in traffic, like we got so much month left at the end of the money. People are stressed, and they're stuck in this reactive, stressful mode.
Environment,
They cannot rest. They can't digest their food properly. They can't sleep and repair their body. They're just stuck in fight or flight mode, and that transmits throughout their whole life, right? So that builds up. So what this does is when people are stuck in fight or flight mode, it acts on the central nervous system to balance you out, to restore harmony and balance and homeostasis, to bring back on that parasympathetic nervous system, the calming, the rest, to digest your food, the detox pathways. That's another problem that we see a lot. People have a lot of weight gain that they're trying to lose, right? And they're stuck in
for sure.
Road. So they've got the cortisol, that stress hormone that's packing on more of the weight. Well, another problem is when we're stuck in fight or flight mode, okay, our body, it's like we're worried about trying to fight the fire. We're not worried about taking out the trash, okay?
Right.
So toxins start accumulating in our body, and our body's defense is to try and pack those away in fat cells, in adipose tissue, right? So that's literally like bubble wrap for toxins. So if we have an abundance of especially for women, we hold it in our belly, in our thighs, and our hips. That, and men, you see like the distended, kind of like the belly, the heart, belly. That is a sure tell sign of toxins that have been accumulated. And so what happens is when we restore balance to the autonomic nervous system, we help people get out of that fight or flight mode. The detox pathways start opening up. The body says, oh, we're not in so much stress and worry and fear right now. Maybe I can take the trash out. And the liver starts turning back on, and it starts flushing out those toxins that are stored. Sometimes people do report incredible weight loss. Again, I can't say that will happen for sure, but isn't it incredible that when you release the toxic load in the body and you start turning back on that pump so it can flush those out, the body will do what it needs to. It releases the toxic fat, and you don't need it anymore. It's not holding on to it, trying to protect our vital organs from those toxins.
Well, I was gonna say that I think that's definitely what most of us are kind of going through in terms of just being caught up in that cycle of fight or flight, just being under stress. I think that some people don't even know that they're stressed out or that they're dealing with a lot of stress because they become used to kind of living that way. And so I believe that God made our bodies to heal themselves, right? And so, but if your body is so busy trying to keep your vital organs running and doing all this other stuff, it's not going to be able to, like you said, detox and really do the thorough job because it's trying to put the fires out right away to like take care of what needs to be done like right now. So then your body is then, like for me, I ended up having a thyroid that had grown to the size of a grapefruit. And your thyroid is supposed to be like, this small, like up to probably like an inch. It's located here, but it's such a small gland, but it controls so much in your body. And when it's not working properly, of course, it's going to affect everything about you. The way that you're, just everything from your temperature to your weight to your heart, like regulating your heart, all of that. And a lot of people don't know that. But so me being under stress is what created this huge mass right here. And I had it removed, but since then, I'm not necessarily 100% still. And I've done a lot of things to get myself just kind of back to a place where I can function, where I'm not sick. And I've done a good job with doing that with supplements. But the one thing that I would like to try is the hemp oil. And the reason why I showed you this is because this came from like a local shop here in Vegas. And I just tried it like a couple of days ago. I didn't really feel anything. Not like what I felt when I took your products, but I wanted to say that because I think that people do sometimes wonder like, well, what hemp products do I choose? There's so many. So you did a very good job at explaining, why your product is a top notch. I mean, it stands above the rest in terms of you said the concentration, the fact that it doesn't have the filler oils and all that. So that's great. And so I think at this point, we want to see what it is. Like, show us what Reset hemp oil looks like. And then also, how can we get it?
Yeah, well, I'd love to just point out one other thing.
Okay.
So back to the analogy of the Christmas tree, okay? So
okay.
If let's say that you do have something that you're using and it's a really good high quality CBD product, cannabidiol is the scientific name of that particular cannabinoid, but there are over 100 cannabinoids in the hemp plant. So if you have something that is really high in only CBD, that's like illuminating your Christmas tree with white lights. It's beautiful.
Okay.
It's better than nothing, right? But now imagine if you can sprinkle in the reds and the blues and the greens and all the other colors of the rainbow, you're going to get a better effect. I also think of it like, a band. We've got a really good CBD product. Somebody else they got Celine Dion in a bottle, right? Does she sound better or worse when she has her backup singers and her full band? She's an amazing artist. She sounds great on her own.
Right.
But when you have the ability, it adds what's called the entourage effect. So we actually have the broadest spectrum, meaning it has more of those lights that are, than any other product on the market. We have more CBG, cannabidiol. So CBG, check it out, do some research on that. A lot of people know about CBD. CBG is like the stem cell, parent cell, if you will. It's found in really young hemp plants. It's a very expensive product because as the hemp matures, those cannabinoids start getting, grown into CBD or THC or whatever the plant is exposed to. So when it's really young and it can be harvested, the CBG is incredible for helping restore neuroregenerative properties. And Dr. Ron in his studies is finding incredible things for the central nervous system. So people who tried other CBD products that maybe didn't feel that aha experience, maybe just give this a try. And it's super easy to get. My website is very, very easy. Alternativemedicine.prime, Prime, mybody.com. So alternativemedicine.primemybody.com. You can order it. It retails for $108 retail. We do have an affiliate program that I'm very proud that, we're building teams around the world for this. We just launched in Japan and Taiwan, soon in Canada, Mexico, the UK, branching out. It's legal in all 50 states. So wherever you are, you can be the one to bring this to your community. You don't have to have a retail store and pay all the, rent and finding, people. I live in obviously the cannabis capital of the world, and I know a lot of people who have gotten invested in this, and it's, as a business, but guess what? They have invested hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars to have a grow operation, and then they have to try and find the right trimmers. And I know one man in Colorado Springs, he's shutting down his dispensary just because it's just too difficult to find good workers that don't steal from you, that don't be left for 3 days, and the master grower who he trusted to take care of these plants overwatered. Every single plant was ruined in 3 days.
Oh no.
So, yeah, for me, it's like I don't want to have to worry about all of that.
Right. I just want the product.
I just want the products. I just know it works for me, and when that helps and I can share a story, I can share with others and help them, because I really believe that we need both, Monique. We need health and we need wealth if we're really going to thrive on this planet. There's not a lot of things that money can't solve, and I really believe that God has given us the abundance, the ability to prosper and have ways of abundance. And He
gives us the power to get wealth.
It does. It really does.
He does. Okay, so, and there was one thing that you said, not to interrupt you, but for people that deal with cerebral degeneration. So in other words, there are a lot of elderly people that deal with dementia. And so it's something that they say that, there's no real cure for, but I'm thinking maybe something like this would help somebody that, has memory issues, or they can't their memory is not functioning, properly, where they're either the long term, short term. For most dementia patients, it usually starts out that their short term memory is affected, and then the long term memory goes. So I don't know if you have any experiences with.
Yeah, I can touch on that a little bit.
Okay,
So
go ahead,
when it
please.
comes to the brain and what we're finding, what Dr. Ron has taught us about this, and again, he's studying it in this clinical studies that will be published very soon. I don't know exactly when, but how I understand the brain, and especially the plaque buildups that are happening, that's causing these
Protein buildup, plaque.
all the plaques, and then also the demyelinization of the myelin sheath. So think of it like an extension cord. We've got to get the message from one synapse to the other synapse as seamless as possible. But if somebody comes through and takes a machete and just chops out little chunks of that extension cord, it's misfiring, it's frazzled. People are experiencing this in their nervous system all around when you deal with the issues that are really systemic, starting from the misfirings that are going on. So what this hemp oil is doing, if you will, is it's allowing the body to come in and wrap electrical tape around that cord. Okay, it may not be as perfect as it ever once was, but it's incredible. I had a woman, and again, I can't make any medical claims or anything, but she called me up and asked because she was concerned. Her mom called her and said, "Your father is repeating himself every 15 minutes. I'm really concerned." And she asked me, and she said, "Tara, I've been doing some research. I was Googling, do you think that this product could help my dad?" And again, I can't make any claims. So I just say, "I don't know. Tell me what happens. Try a bottle, see what happens. Let me know."
That's
and she
good.
called me 3 days later and said, "Dad stopped repeating himself." So something's happening, right?
Oh, wow.
It's incredible when you start knowing that because you shared and because people trusted you and wanted to, hear your story, that you can help impact the quality of their life, turning the lights back on for people. I really believe in a faith-based mission that God is here, and has been here for us, and wants us to thrive and wants us to survive.
Amen to that.
We're run by a lot of evil, unfortunate things, and I don't believe in safe medications. There really aren't. So there's always some level of side effect or toxicity buildup, and it breaks my heart when I know people who are on the kidney and the liver transplant list right now because of the medications that they were taking have killed their liver and kidneys. It's really sad, and unfortunately, even to this day, Monique, only 9% of medical schools are even teaching about the endocannabinoid system whatsoever. I went to school with a friend. He graduated from Harvard, and he's a pain management specialist. He asked me about CBD. I said, "What did they teach you at Harvard? What did they teach you about the endocannabinoid system?" He said they mentioned it. This is the biggest discovery in medical history, and doctors are not being taught about it.
That's amazing.
Again, they're funded. The FDA is funded. 75% of the FDA, their income that they receive is by big pharmaceutical companies. The CDC gets 50% of their funding from big pharmaceutical companies.
But that's why. That's the reason why they don't.
Knowing how to heal ourselves.
Right. That's why they don't promote it. So
they don't promote it, and the
if
FDA
they can't make money off of it, then
here's the reality. The FDA and big pharma, they have their own CBD product. It's called Epiledex. It's synthetically derived CBD that they created in a lab. We know that what exists in a plant and what God gave us is perfect by divine nature, and we do not need to synthetically derive something in a lab. But here's how it works. So you come to your doctor and maybe you say, I want to try CBD. Well, the only one that they can legally prescribe you is the one that they get the pharmaceutical kickbacks from, the Epiledex, and they will charge the insurance company $35,000 a year for you to use that product.
What?
Oh, yeah. And the problem is, after you use it, you build up a tolerance for it, and then you need to use more and more and more of it.
Oh, my gosh.
Again, it's synthetic, so we could just have what God gave us on the plant.
Right.
So, for a fraction, not even, maybe, $1,000 a year, you could be on this product. Yeah, your insurance isn't going to pay for it right now. We need the education piece. We need for people to become their own advocates and say, doctor, I researched this. I looked at my condition on Project CBD, and you print out those PubMed published journal articles and you ask your doctor, have you ever heard of this? They probably don't know much about it. So you're going to have to get more educated. Right. And I am creating a course right now that people will be able to take that will be approved by the CEC. So people can actually get this information and then feel confident that they can take it, recommend it, feel free. There's no overdosing. You don't have to be afraid of this plant. It's not the evil thing that we've been taught for the last 80 years. Just, you know, if there's something pulling at your heartstrings, reach out to me. I'm happy to share. My email is Hempress Tara, HEMPRESSTARA @gmail.com. You can find me through Instagram and social media as Hempress Tara again. And I would love for you to send me a personal message. And I have a group in Facebook called Hemp Health News, which I would love for anyone to join as well and be a part of this community and sharing this, because God knows we need this back in our lives. And when you find out more about this, read Exodus 30, 22, 23. You'll find that cannabis is actually referenced in the Bible for Jesus' anointing oil.
Are you serious?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It comes up different. Some texts call it cannabosum. Some call it camus or something like that. But anthropologists believe really truly that this was cannabis oil and frankincense and myrrh and olive oil and all the healing, herbs that we knew that.
Okay, right. And where can we find that blessed oil from the Bible with the ingredients from the Bible that you had? Because I want that too.
Well, we're not making a Bible recipe, if you will, because that had a lot of other healing things in it as well. But when it comes to just specifically cannabis oil that's going to get you healthy, not high, that's my hashtag, healthy, not high. So definitely follow me, find out, reach out, and I'm here to answer any questions that people have and share my own story of, how this has helped me and my own community.
I'd like to have you back, definitely. I just want to let my folks know that her website is www.
You don't need the W's.
You don't. It's just alternative medicine.
Medicine.primemybody.com.
I was going to say, so that's not an email address. Okay. So the URL is alternativemedicine.primemybody.com.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then your email address is hempresstara@gmail.com.
That's right.
Okay, we got it. Wonderful. So I'm going to definitely order some from you, and I encourage others to do the same, especially now that we know that it's safe. It's not going to get us high. We're not going to fail a drug test. We're not going to be, and that your product doesn't have THC in it. So I think this is just wonderful. I think it's the best news I've heard in a long time. So I encourage those people that know me to try this product, and I'm going to have Tara come back as well in the future to give her testimony about the injury that she had, because she told me about that. We don't have time right now, but I want her to tell everybody about her own personal experience, as we've been talking about others who have benefited from this oil, and it's called, what is it called again? Yours?
Prime My Body is the name of the company. So
Prime My Body is the name of the company. What's the name of the actual cannabis oil? Or not cannabis oil.
It's called Recept.
Recept.
EPT.
Okay.
Like receptors, and it stands for extended polyterpenes. There's an acronym for what it means, but it basically is saying, it's peace in a bottle, liquid light, and everyone's testimonials. I'm happy to send out an email with testimonials that I've been compiling as well from a bunch of my clients, as well as other people who have taken this product. So again,
all right.
Appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for being here, and thank you for the peace in a bottle. So I'm going to get some from you right away, like today. All right. God bless you, Tara.
God bless you too, love.
I'll be in touch soon to have you come back. Okay. Thank you.